What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and Finner Saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, for today's video I have several quite interesting news. I will show you an update directly related to the most recent comments from George Palikaras and his 10 questions that potentially might solve the bigger problem of entire retail community. On top of that, I will show you quite interesting confrontation inside the MMTLP community, and I will show you that, well, no one is crystal clear inside the community, and we have to take all the advices and all the statements from the both sides of the community with a grain of salt. And before we dive deep into all of this, guys, if you want to know more about technical analysis, if you want to enhance your trading skills, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and join my Patreon account. And guys, you've seen many of my trade calls, all delivering strong returns in just hours. Now it's your turn to trade smarter. Join my safe haven Patreon tier, built for traders who want consistency, structure and real results. You will get a detailed plan to protect your portfolio, monthly one-on-one Zoom sessions with me and private Discord access with all trade alerts, lessons and exclusive updates. And here is the best part. If you don't earn more than your subscription price within 30 days, you will receive a full refund, no question asked, as long as your trading account balance is at least $2,500 and you've taken all the recommended trades during the period. No excuses, no fine print. You profit or you don't pay. Here are just a few of my trade results from the first half of October. But don't wait, this offer is available for a limited time only. Once the spots are filled, enrollment will close. Join today and let's start building your edge in the market. So, and let's begin with Ann Vanderstill's actions. You know that, well, unfortunately for now we don't have a lot of updates from her side of the battle, but I want to pay attention to this tweet that I covered in my previous video. And on January 17th, she wrote this tweet that she sent all the evidence to the DOJ. And, well, on the one hand, it is definitely a good news, but on the other hand, guys, take a look what did Scott Trott write in response, basically, to the actions that were made by DOJ. So he wrote this in response to the Maritally Bowden MD tweet, and she wrote this: DOJ has cancelled 3 enforcement actions against Pfizer, and AGM Pam Bondi is trying to have Brooke Jackson's case against Pfizer dismissed. Bondi previously worked for Pfizer. And he wrote this, he tagged MMTLP Army and so on and so forth. He wrote this: none of the adults left in the room with the MMTLP tagged to the door expect this corporate hack to do anything to help us nor get anywhere near true market reform. The DOJ is actively fighting the writ of mandamus action in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals to prevent any test of FINRA's constitutionality or the SEC's obvious collusion with the hedge funds that ripped us off. The SEC refused to consider its own Rule 12K as applicable and insists it had every right to step aside and let FINRA provide the vehicle by which MMTLP and MMAT shareholders were targeted for theft. The Sloan versus SEC case clearly states that SEC must resume trading after a 10-day halt unless there is a court order or hearing of some kind explaining this stoppage. They did nothing of the kind. And definitely this case that I covered, basically, I believe I started to cover this case about 2 years ago, and this was the first mention, I believe, was made by Mark Basile in the case of Anna Trades. And for now, we are still here without any decision from the court that SEC must resume trading after 10 days. And you know that Scott Roth has an active lawsuit and he is fighting for 2 additional days of trading. Guys, regardless of my point of view, and I think that 2 additional days of trading will not solve the problem of MMTLP community, but definitely these actions might open new facts that can help us to see the resolution in the most appropriate, from my point of view, way. And that is why I still want to see more and more actions from the lawsuits that will definitely have much more power to open new doors for the community to see the resolution in general. And let me show you these quite interesting tweets. First of all, George Palikaras 16 hours ago wrote 10 questions that are very important for all of the MMTLP community and for the entire retail community. And I don't want to dig deeper inside this. I want to show you that, well, he responded to quite interesting tweet that was written by Sam. And Sam is trying to make several statements, and she thinks that George Palikaras is guilty in the process of spreading misleading information to attract more attention to the MMAT merger first of all, and to the MMTLP spin-off second of all. And she published several tweets that directly exposes George Palikaras in these actions. And George Palikaras responded to this. And you might wonder why I pay so much attention to this case. And here is the answer. Guys, we have 2 different parts of the MMTLP community. One part wants to see the resolution through the non-litigational path, and they want to see the payments from FINRA and SEC as the wrongdoers who implemented U3 HALT. But this is just one part of the huge community who relied back in the days on the short squeeze. But we have another part that that invested in original TRCH, and then they received an MMTLP shares, and probably they bought an MMTLP shares in order to see the dividends from the oil and gas assets that should be paid to all of the shareholders. And these people, guys, they don't care about the U3 HALT, because in general 2 days before or 2 days after the U3 HALT was implemented, it doesn't matter for them, because their main intention was to receive dividends on their shares. And unfortunately, they were misled by the people who are potentially and who were in the board of directors of TRCH, MMAT and MMTLP. And we have these 2 groups of people. One group is the one they want to see just SEC and FINRA as a defendants in any cases of this story. Another group of people want to see not only SEC and FINRA, because the U3 HALT was, it was a huge mess with the implementation of U3 HALT. But on top of that, they want to ask tricky questions to the board of directors and former CEOs of the company, like George Palikaras, John Burda, and actual CEO of NextBridge, Greg McCabe. And this is the most interesting part, because George Palikaras, legitimately asks Sam, why did she delete roughly 25,000 posts about an MMTLP stock? And yes, he also has a very interesting statements right here. But he also made some mistakes in the timelines of the dates when her account was created. And I think it is quite interesting to see what will be the results of this statement, because on the other hand, Sam wrote this, and she refers, wait a second, I will show you somewhere here. She refers to the fact that George Palikaras clearly stated, and let me quote you this. Palikaras made statements to a group of investors which were recorded and later circulated and widely cited on social media that the net proceeds payable to preferred dividend holders could range between $1 to $20 per share, which had no basis in fact. Palikaras also told that same group of investors that Torchlight was speaking to, the right potential buyers, and that they were top tier, when in fact Torchlight had not identified any potential buyers at the time. So this statement that was taken by Sam from I believe from the official lawsuit that was filed by SEC against Palikaras and John Burda. It is a clear statement that George Palikaras misled MMTLP community. On top of that, guys, in the same exact tweet, wait a second, I will show you at the top of this conversation that we also have some misleading information from other members of board of directors and the CEOs. And we know that John Burda, despite the fact that he clearly stated that he didn't sell any shares, he sold quite substantial amount of his shares. And Greg McCabe did exactly the same. So John Burda sold almost 400,000 shares back in November of 2022, and Greg McCabe sold about 6.7 million shares of Next Bridge right before the U3 halt. And they did it basically at the same time when they stated that they don't sell any shares at all. And definitely it was a misleading information that led potential investors to some actions that led to the total loss of their initial investment. On top of that, guys, I want to show you, wait a second, that we are still fighting, and we can see the evidence of this fight. For example, Jennifer Vetrana received a new response to her FOIA request, and unfortunately, guys, SEC is trying to kick the can down the road for as long as possible. Let me show you first of all these responses. This is the response to the FOIA request number 26-01224-FOIA, and here is the response. This letter is in reference to your request dated and received in this office on January 15th of this year for information concerning any CAT queries run, reviewed or generated in connection with MMTLP, TRCH, MMAT, and any securities related to the MMTLP corporate action, blue sheet data, halt committee decision records, extraordinary event determination, communications with other entities, post-halt explanations. Here's another paragraph of this. You asked for expedited processing of your request. Under the SEC FOIA Rule 17 CFR, here's the number, this office shall grant a request for expedited processing if the requester demonstrates a compelling need for the records. Compelling need means that a failure to obtain the request records on an expedited basis could reasonably be expected to pose an imminent threat to an individual's life or physical safety, or if the requester is primarily engaged in disseminating information by demonstrating that the urgency to inform the public of actual or alleged federal government activity exists. A compelling need shall be demonstrated by a statement certified to be true and correct to the best of the requester's knowledge and belief. In my view, a compelling need has not been demonstrated. Therefore, we are processing your request under a normal guidelines. And normal guidelines, guys, are a very long way to receive this information. And Jennifer Vetrana tagged Ann Vandersteel and wait a second, and George Palikaras, and she wants to see their help in these actions, because it is a pure statement that SEC want to kick this can down the road for as long as possible. But at the same time, guys, you see that we have plenty of people who are regardless, who are trying to push the case forward, regardless of any actions that are surrounding them. And Jennifer Vetrana is one of them. Another person that asks very legitimate questions is Timeless Tim. Guys, I covered his screenshots, basically I started to cover his screenshots of the $99,900 a share with the too late to cancel order, I believe a year and a half ago. And here is another mention of this, guys. This is the screenshot that he published in his Twitter account, and it is a screenshot from his E-Trade application. And here is the order that is too late, that has a status too late to cancel, which means it should be proceeded with a price of almost $1 million per share. And this was just one share, but nevertheless this price is mind-boggling. And well, on the one hand, it can be just a mistake, technical mistake, but on the other hand, it can be an order that was processed and that was cancelled for some reason. On top of that, guys, we don't have any official responses from E-Trade, and I want to see this answer as well, because E-Trade doesn't have a total immunity, and if you ask through the court, through the lawsuit, why did they post this information and what is the real status of these orders, I believe they will have to answer it. They will have to answer this question, and they will have to make some clarifications why did it happen. On top of that, guys, I want to tell you that, well, we have a lot of people who try to mislead some community members. And well, I don't want to tell you that Zing is one of these people, but previously I found quite interesting tweet that he asks he asked a judge for discovery, and for now I cannot find it, but here is a very legitimate question from Puzzled Raccoon. He wrote, MMTLP, can somebody ask Zing what judge he was talking about? He mentioned getting a judge to demand discovery, and 1. That's not how court procedures work. 2. There is no judge to ask discovery for, because there is no class action, and to my knowledge, the community doesn't have any legal proceedings in play. So there is no judge to make any demands to or from. And Jennifer Vetrana responded to this. They are crazy. Does he understand that it is the reason all of us have been hemorrhaging money in court process? And Puzzled Raccoon responded, I doubt it. I think he's obvious to pretty much everything that's true. He just hears the retarded nonsense. So guys, definitely, if it was just so easy to ask a judge for discovery, a lot of people would do it. But at the same time, guys, it is not how the things should be done. And the only way how you can ask for discovery is through litigation process. And if you don't know how to do it, you have to file a pro se lawsuit. And then you have to ask, right after some other procedures, you have to ask the judge for these discoveries. But it can be granted or it can be denied. And you will pay for this lawsuit from your own pocket, basically without any results. And this is the risks, and we have, I believe, about 12 people who took these risks and who filed these lawsuits. And Jen Vetrana, one of them. Definitely, we have different people who wrote, who filed the same, quite similar lawsuits. It is a 1209 community, Matthew Peace, Conti Quilcott, Rolla versus Securities and Exchange Commission, Kelly versus FINRA, and Daniel Oxer as well, and Scott Roth as well. This means, guys, the only way how we can see this type of results is through litigation processes. And well, I think A lot of community members want to see some evidence, from the public spaces or from the public sources, and they don't want to see some kind of counter arguments in these investigations. And let me show you quite interesting tweet that was written by John Burda back in 2022 in response to TRCH. And on December the 6th of 2022, TRCH published this screenshot from the FINRA comments, and it's clearly stated that the last date of trading is December the 8th. And John Burda admitted that it says you have to buy by the close of business on the 8th, which means, guys, even John Burda stated that the last day of trading could be and should be December the 8th of 2022. But none of the MMTLP community who pursue non-litigational path to the resolution and who want to see FINRA and SEC responsible for all the damages, none of them paying their attention to this tweet from John Burda. And that is why, guys, I want to be completely unbiased, and I want to show you the whole picture of this issue. Unfortunately, it is not so easy to find and to accept these facts as the real facts, but it is what it is. We have to do it together, and we have to fight for the resolution. So I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you.